How's it going, everyone? Still playing a bit of catch-up on the extended play, as well as the games under $15 sale. I think after this video, we're all caught up. So we did games under $10, games under $5. Now we're looking at games of no price restrictions, and some pretty good deals across the board. Had to dig a little bit, but definitely some good stuff, some good value deals. So let's get right into it. Mass Effect Legendary Edition is 60% off for $24, of course, including Mass Effect 1, 2, and 3. A lot of people consider this to be one of the greatest trilogies in all of gaming history. I'm kind of in that boat as well. Think what you will about Mass Effect 3's conclusion, but Mass Effect 3 even is a very good game, and Mass Effect 1 does show its age a little bit. They tried the best that they could, I guess, to, you know, make it a little bit more accessible to a 2021 audience when this game came out, but it still shows its age. Still an enjoyable game. Mass Effect 2, one of the greatest games, I think, of all time. I don't think that's, you know, that's not a hot take to say that. I think everybody loved Mass Effect 2. So yeah, that game is at a level higher than the other two games, but the other two games are still very good, and to get all three for $24, that's a great deal. It is included with EA Play, so that's something to consider, but otherwise $24 I think is a great price. Next up, we got Walking Dead, the Telltale Definitive Series. 50% off for $25. So this includes literally everything. You've got all 4 seasons, 400 days, and The Walking Dead Michonne, 50 hours of gameplay across 23 episodes. Look, I love me Telltale games, and I loved me Walking Dead. I still remember playing Season 1 when it came out and crying at the end of the first season. Bear in mind, when did Season 1 come out? Like 2012? I think I was 15 years old or something like that when I initially played. 15, 16 years old, whatever the case may be. But yeah, I was balling at the end of Season 1. But nonetheless, Season 1, many consider that to be the high point of the entire Walking Dead Telltale series. Season 2 was really good as well, and the other seasons weren't bad by any stretch of the imagination. Season 1 was just, in my opinion, incredible. But all of that content for $25 is a remarkable deal. If you've never given it a shot, if you want to get into more narrative-driven Telltale-style games, this is a great one to get into, and the price point for it is so good at $25. Yeah, I do often say Wolf Among Us is maybe my favorite. It's honestly 1A, 1B when it comes to Wolf Among Us and Walking Dead Season 1, but Wolf Among Us at this point is just one season, so we'll see where Wolf Among Us goes in the future. But Walking Dead here, a very, very high-quality experience for $25. Next up, we have Valkyria Chronicles 4, the Complete Edition, 70% off for $15. Now, I often recommend the Valkyria Chronicles Remaster and Valkyria Chronicles 4 bundle. However, that bundle does not include the DLC content for VC4. Here with the Complete Edition, you do get the DLC content. It's at $15, so a hefty price point, but you actually get some decent DLC with it, so that's something to consider. And Valkyria Chronicles 4 itself, I've said it over and over again, it is a tremendous game. I think if you're just remotely into tactical games, you're going to enjoy the game. And I like the battle style in general, and obviously from a narrative standpoint, Valkyria Chronicles 4 is incredibly strong. Phenomenal art style as well. Just really dug the art style across all of the Valkyria Chronicles games. Hopefully Sega does a new VC title soon, but we'll see about that. Valkyria Chronicles 4 was great, and the Complete Edition for $15 is definitely a good buy. Next up, we got Shadow of the Tomb Raider Definitive Edition, 67% off for $13.19. Now, SOTR, I think from a gameplay standpoint, is rather strong. There's a good bit of content in it, and with the Definitive Edition, it really remedies one of my major issues I had with the game, where Square Enix laid out like their 7-month DLC plan before SOTR even came out, and I was like, bro, what are you doing? The Definitive Edition obviously includes all of the additional DLC content, so that's quite nice. The game itself, from a story standpoint, is kind of lacking, so that's like really the major issue with the game, but $13 and change. I still think the Tomb Raider trilogy, starting from the 2013 title, are some of my favorite games, so Shadow of the Tomb Raider, if you already played Rise of the Tomb Raider, if you already played Tomb Raider 2013, jump into SOTR. But if you haven't played those two games, I believe Rise is on sale right now, so go pick up Rise, and then you can jump into Shadow of the Tomb Raider after that. Pick up both if you want, but, you know, when you're picking up both, then you gotta consider, hey, should you just wait for the collection to go on sale? And you guys get the idea. But SOTR for $13.19, great price here. Next up, a game I always talk highly about, Dead Cells, 40% off for $14.99. Now, you might be looking at this price being like, what the hell? This game is still $15? Well, guess what? It came out in 2018, so yeah, it's approaching 4 years old, August of 2018, but this is one of those games that is at such a high level, and it was already priced at $25, where I thought that was a pretty good price point right out the gate. And guess what? Motion Twin did a phenomenal job with this game, so hey, have the price a little bit higher, retain that high price point because Dead Cells is worth it. Now, there is some DLC for the game. There is the Road to the Sea bundle that is available 30% off for $23.09. You can check that out if you want the DLC as well. The DLC is pretty darn good, so I would definitely give it a consideration. Otherwise, if you just want to pick up the base game, this is a game that I often go back to. Like, right now, obviously my plate's a little full, but whenever I don't know what game exactly I want to play, Dead Cells is one I could just pop in, have a good time with. I mean, it's a very challenging game, don't get me wrong, but it's one that I could just get absorbed into and constantly replay it. Before you know it, a couple hours go by, but just a very rewarding game that starts off a little basic at first, but then greatly expands as you play the game, and it's just a very enjoyable game. $14.99 I think is a great price point, so go check it out if you have yet to. Next up, I mentioned South Park The Stick of Truth, but came to my attention South Park The Video Game Collection is on sale. That'll get you both Stick of Truth as well as the Fractured But Whole for $23.09. Personally, I like the Stick of Truth better. A lot of people like Fractured But Whole. Take it for what you will. They're both very, very charming RPGs. And again, as I always say when I talk about the South Park RPGs, not a big South Park guy, but these games really hit home with me. I thought they were absolutely hilarious, and as I always also say, mechanically, they are well-made RPGs. I should have expected that out of Stick of Truth, to be honest. It's a game done by Obsidian. I mean, it's friggin' Obsidian at the end of the day. They're gonna do a good job, but man, those games really surprised me, and Fractured But Whole was solid as well. $23.09 for both games, I think, is a solid pickup. Alright, moving on from that, got a couple of Assassin's Creed games for you. Assassin's Creed Odyssey Gold Edition, 75% off for $24.99. Now, I make it abundantly clear I am not a fan of the Assassin's Creed game since the shift from the original style of AC. However, that is my personal opinion. I know a lot of people adore these games since the shift. I have a couple friends that recently played through the entirety of AC Odyssey, and they're more so very much casual gamers, and they both loved AC Odyssey, and they both picked up AC Valhalla, and they're like, bro, how do you not like these games? So take it from them, like, there's a lot of people that really enjoy these games, and from a value standpoint, Assassin's Creed Odyssey Gold Edition is pretty tremendous. It gets you AC Odyssey, the base game, the Season Pass, that includes 2 major story arcs, the Day 1 bonus mission, and you get AC3 Remaster, so they kind of just sneak that in there, but AC3 Remaster is pretty solid, and you'll get AC Liberation, which, AC Liberation is not that great, but AC3 I thought was pretty alright. Not my favorite among, you know, the older Assassin's Creed games, but it's an alright game, and to get that with AC Odyssey, all the DLC, and somebody in my comments section told me that AC Odyssey is in fact at 60 frames per second on the PS5, so what the hell do I know these days? You know, it's obviously a game I haven't played since it came out or shortly thereafter, but $25, I think for the value you're getting out of AC Odyssey Gold Edition, it's a pretty solid pickup. So I'll give it a shout. I'll put my hatred of AC since the shift aside and concede that, yes, this is very much a good value. Alright, next up, we have Assassin's Creed Syndicate Gold Edition. Gotta get the other style of Assassin's Creed games in there. Assassin's Creed Syndicate is a supremely underrated Assassin's Creed game, in my opinion. It came out a year after Assassin's Creed Unity, which, you know, let's not... I mean, Unity is what it is, but a lot of people didn't enjoy it, and that kind of impacted the sales of AC Syndicate, or maybe people were just burnt out on AC Syndicate. Or AC in general, excuse me. But I really enjoyed Assassin's Creed Syndicate. It had a very big world. Obviously, you guys know what to expect, a ton of content. Thought the story was pretty interesting here. You have 2 main characters in Jacob and Evie. I thought they were pretty good. A duo, and $15 for the gold edition with the additional content. I think that's a pretty good buy, so go check it out. Especially considering I'm sure a lot of you guys, this is one of these Assassin's Creed games that you missed out on. Give it a look. I think you'll end up enjoying it. Alright, next up, Frostpunk Complete Edition. What a great price on this. This is 60% off for non-Plus subscribers at $18. You'll save an additional 5% if you are a Plus subscriber at $15.74. So this includes the base Frostpunk game and the Frostpunk Season Pass, which includes 3 expansions, Last Autumn, On the Edge, and The Rifts. These expand the game quite a bit. Frostpunk is a game that I mostly played on PC. It's more of a PC-centric game, however, it works well enough on my experience with the PlayStation 4 version. It's part city builder, part of a survival game, a very dark and bleak and grim game where you have to make some very morally impactful decisions where things have serious consequences, and that's kind of what 11-bit studios go for, where it's a little bit more dark. It tugs at the emotional heartstrings, and you have to make decisions that are going to have impactful consequences. Now, these games are also incredibly replayable. The ambiance and the atmosphere that Frostpunk sets is incredible as well. Obviously, they are doing Frostpunk 2 right now, but this is a great price. I believe the cheapest we've seen the complete collection at, so you know, if Frostpunk interests you, but you've been holding out to get this version with the DLC, I think this is a really good price, especially if you are a Plus subscriber. And then lastly, another game that I often recommend whenever it's on sale, Pillars of Eternity Complete Edition is 75% off if you're a Plus subscriber at $12.49, 70% off for non-Plus subscribers at $14.99. Now, Pillars of Eternity 2 is also on sale. I would recommend the first game. I think the first game is great, very much akin to some old school RPGs, a lot of replayability, some decision-making here as well. This Complete Edition also includes the White March Parts 1 and 2 expansion, so that's quite nice, and this is a game that you can sink a lot of time into. So if you want to get into more of an old school style RPG, very good world building, I think you'll enjoy Pillars of Eternity quite a bit. This is another game that was done by Obsidian, by the way, so yeah, they're gonna do a good job, of course, with what they do and what they bring out. They are also working on Avowed right now. Unfortunately, that's gonna be a Xbox Series and PC exclusive, so that's a little bit of a bummer, but hey, still give Pillars of Eternity a look. You're gonna like it quite a bit, I think. But that is gonna do it for me. Again, a lot of great deals available right now, and I think as of the recording of this video, outside of Dead Cells, none of these games are confirmed for the Plus Instant Game Collection, excuse me, the Plus Premium Extra Collection. I gotta get all this terminology down, but yeah, I might be wrong about that. I'll get the entire lineup at some point, and then I'll literally bash it into my head so I remember what games are on Plus Premium, and then, you know, these deals videos are going to be a little bit more consistent as far as the what games I recommend, what games go at the end, because it does seem like that's what you guys want me to do, keep those games at the end. So that's going to be in flux, but let me know all your guys' thoughts in the comment section down below. You can sound off there. As always, thank you for watching, and goodbye. Hey guys, we hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, make sure to hit the subscribe button, and if you're already subscribed, do us a favor and hit the bell icon. This way you'll be notified whenever we post a new video. That's the best way to keep up with all of our uploads, and we usually try to upload 2 videos a day. And with the bell icon hit, you'll be notified whenever we do upload a video. As always, thanks for watching.